What's that one dish you would do anything to taste one more time? Well, the book that I'm going to be talking about today talks about the nostalgia around food and how we must enjoy the simple things in life, like a good meal, and how much we take that for granted. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mehek. I hope you guys are all fine. And like always, I also hope that you guys are reading. Back with the book of the week that I finished. It's called the Kamogawa Food Detective. It's a Japanese bestseller. It's translated in English. It's by Hisashi Kashiwai. That's how it looks. I'm in my reading phase where I'm really enjoying all these Japanese and Korean translations. Absolutely love the work that these authors are producing. So let's dive in what this book is all about. Now, this book is actually about a diner. So it is set in a quaint little diner in Kyoto. And the diner is run by a father and a daughter duo. The father's name is Nagare and the daughter's name is Koishi. So this father and daughter duo, they run this diner which serves really tempting and mouth-watering food to people. But it's not just a simple diner, it's actually also a food detective service that this father and daughter duo provide. Now, why they call themselves a food detective is that if there is a particular dish that you had it in the past that you're trying to revisit for various reasons, they help you recreate that same dish with the same feeling and the same taste for you at their diner. Now, so they come up with this advertisement, which is actually a one-liner advertisement, which they published and in the newspaper. And they don't even have actually a proper signboard or directions to their restaurant, because the father Nagare feels that people who are destined to enter the diner will find the way. And that is what we realize as we go along the book, that how the diner not having proper signboard and directions, but people who are meant to be, they eventually find where the diner is located. Now, there are 6 short stories in the book, there are 6 clients that visit this diner to avail the food detective service. Now these clients vary, the stories are absolutely different, and each of the client stories is further broken down into 2 parts. In the first part, they come up with the problem, as in they come up with the dish that they're looking for, they give a background about it, and in the second part, we see that Nagare asks them to come back after 2 weeks. This is the time usually that he takes to source the right ingredients and to cook the dish for the clients, which would feel and taste the same. So the second part follows when the client comes back in again and they get the taste of the dish, and finally Nagare reveals the process. How did he ensure that the perfect dish was recreated for them from their past. Now, as we as each of the case is revealed and as each of the dishes prepared by Nagare, we come to know that food that comes on our plate, or the preparation of the food is not it's just not about putting in all the spices and ingredients and making the dish. There's so many other factors that are responsible for that taste that as a consumer, when you're eating the food that you get. So the right ingredients, the ingredients sourced from the right places, who is cooking it, what kind of an environment, who did you go with. So a lot of times our experiences, we read in the book, which is really surprising to me, that a lot of times the certain experiences that we have with the meal is also because of the person that we are having that meal with. So the person, that your company, the environment, the ingredients, what was your mood like, what were you feeling like, everything comes together and defines the meal experience that you have. And that is what we come to know. So just to give you an example of the kind of clients that he gets, so there is a old lady who comes, and she's basically looking to recreate or have a taste of a beef stew that she had all back in the days. I think it was 1957 when she was a student, and she was at this restaurant and this guy really liked her and proposed her straight away. And because she was so stunned and young and naive and she had no idea, she just just ran out of the restaurant. However, she did try the beef stew with him, and when the proposal came, she runs out. And now, after all these years, she wonders, if she would have said yes to that proposal, how different her life would have looked. So she wants to, come back and relive that moment with the help of that beef stew that Nagare, helps in recreating. Similarly, we have a young girl who, she had this Napoleon spaghetti on a trip with her grandfather. She was only 5 years old. Um, and right now her father is suffering from dementia. He doesn't remember anything, but she really holds that memory very close to her heart, how she went on this trip and she enjoyed this delicious spaghetti with the grandfather, and she wants Nagare to for her to get a taste of that same spaghetti again and probably have the grandfather taste it, and hopefully if he remembers something. We also have another client who is actually Nagare's colleague, and he's a widower. He lost his wife, and currently he's dating another woman. So, and they're planning to take their relationship to the next step. And but before he does that, he really wants to taste this particular dish that the wife made one last time before he moves on in his life. So stories like this, which are, I think, greatly woven in human emotions and connections and nostalgia around food, are shared in the book. While the plot is very similar, it's just like how I was reading this book earlier. What you need, what you're looking for is in the library. Similarly, like this book also follows the same plot, as in, like, each client visits the diner, they're looking for a dish, and then how Nagare sources that and makes that, and helps them reliving that past. Although the stories are the plot is the same, but because of the different background and nostalgia each of these character brings, I think that is what adds to the richness of this story. And through this entire journey, now you must be wondering what how is it helping the people. So we read with these characters that how going back in the past with this particular dish that they have it in the present, how they find a closure in their past, how they relive that moment once again, and how they open their future to newer possibilities. And I think that is what I loved, how the author has done that, especially the last chapter. I think that was really interesting for me, how this little experiment at the food detective agency can really help people with finding that closure that they need, and at the same time looking at the future with newer possibilities. So I think that was really well done in the book by the author. All in all, I feel it was a very heartwarming, sweet, short read that I think everyone and anyone will enjoy. I think this book really made me think about how we need to be more present while doing the simple things. Of course, when I was reading the book, I was remembering certain dishes that I would really like someone to recreate for me. Like, my grandmother is not around, but she used to make these lovely dessert, like besan ka barfi. And although I have my mother and other members in my family making it, but obviously it doesn't taste the same. Similarly, when I was a student in southern France, there was a particular a pizza that I had, which was at the small vendor, at the lane that I used to stay at. I would just love to get a taste of it back. I'm sure it would bring back the wonderful memories that I had in southern France. But yet I was feeling, when I was reading these clients' journey with the food and certain meals, I realized that I need to be more present when I enjoy a good meal, and hold that experience dear to me. I think these daily simple things that we do, I think we really need to be mindful and present about it, because that is what makes the whole difference. When you read the book, you realize that. So yeah, this was on this book. I just have a disclaimer: please do not read this book on an empty stomach. You're going to feel hungry. You're going to feel very hungry. I think the author's love with food is very evident. There's some really mouth-watering Japanese dishes mentioned in the book. And I have a habit of reading before my bed. Although after having dinner, you know, I've had dinner, but I used to feel so hungry when I used to read this book, and I could just imagine some of the yummy Japanese food in my head. So please don't read this book on an empty stomach. But yeah, all in all, I think it's a fabulous read. If you have read it, please let me know in the comments. But if you have not, I hope my review helps in making you pick this wonderful book up. That's all on this book review. I'm going to see you guys next week with another title. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.